Good morning, David here. So today I'm working on my 1985 El Camino. It's the tilt column's loose on it. So I want to show you what normally happens and how to fix it. So to make it easier on you, I already have a used column apart here. It will be a bit easier to show than in the car. So, but you need to get the steering wheel off and get down to this point here. And what happens is this bolt and the other 3 bolts like it, they actually get loose and back out. So the cure for that is to take them right out and put a little bit of Loctite on the threads, clean the threads, put the Loctite on, put them back in, and snug them up. But if the video shows, it's kind of a funny looking head on it here, so you're going to need a special socket called an E8 or Ernie 8. Okay, you can see it's not just a regular socket. Okay, once you have that, the job's easy.
And that socket will reach all 4 without having to move anything else out of the way.
Okay. So, but that isn't always the cure. As in my case, when I took it apart and I'm looking at my floor mat, I'm seeing all kinds of little ball bearings sitting on the floor mat. What happened is the race came apart, and I think I left it over here. I'll just show you the plastic piece and what happened to it. Oh, here it is here. It's 40 years old and it just disintegrated, broke up, which allowed all the bearings to fall out. So now at this point, it's not something you can do inside the car. You need to go the rest of the way and pull this housing right out and do it on the workbench. Get yourself 2 new bearings. There's one at the top of the housing and one here. They're the same part number, called an upper tilt bearing. So I've already taken the race out. The race would have sat inside here. So you'll take yourself some kind of a screwdriver or a little chisel, and it'll take you a couple of minutes. You're going to go inside here and work it around and around, and then it'll pop out. Once it pops out, then you're going to find yourself a socket that will fit nicely inside there, and then you're going to press the bearing back in. It looks like the bearing would go in either way, but only one way is the proper way. So the one way, it'll have a little bit thicker bottom on it, okay, and it'll go in there, so that when it's all said and done, that's going to sit in there. And we'll just back up to the one that I have, the used one over here. Just take this out of the way. And then you're going to put this back on here. This bearing actually sits on that race, but embedded in this housing. Okay? And then the top bearing, the race for it is actually right here. You would have already taken this out to access this. So once I press that bearing back in there, then this is the removable race that will keep those bearings centered. So that will go there, and the order of putting it back together, then this will sit on here, which keeps the race from moving. The spring keeps the retainer from moving. This is a combination horn button and canceling button for the signal light switch. It will sit on top of here. Then this is called a locking plate. This locking plate will actually, when you're putting it back together, sits on there. Okay. And after that, this little ring, which you already would have taken off, sits there. Do yourself a favor. The ring isn't expensive. It's less than $20. Buy a new ring, because every time I've taken these apart, they're a pain in the butt, and you have to work it around. Consequently, you wind up spreading it, so they don't always fit perfectly back inside. So do yourself and buy yourself a new one. Another thing to buy is be careful of this, because when you took it apart, a lot of the times this is called the hazard switch. It's the button that pushes in to activate the four-way flasher. These are plastic. They don't last, and a lot of times they will fall apart in your hand. So when you're ordering all the parts, do yourself a favor and just get a new one. Okay? The locking plate, I just want to show you this. The other side of that's got all the indentations. I'll just move this out of the way here. Those indentations, this plunger will sit in. So you'll notice that when you're sitting in the car and the steering wheel is still locked, you can't turn it. It's because that plunger has come up and fit in one of those holes.
It's part of the anti-theft.
Anti-theft,
yeah.
Okay. Another thing that can happen on this, I've had cars towed in where the key will turn quite freely, but nothing happens. The reason for that is 9 times out of 10, this rack gear, which activates the actual ignition switch. So when you turn the key is actually turning this gear. That gear is turning the teeth on this rack, causing it to move up and down. There's a rod that fits in here about this long, and it actually activates the switch. So this is another common problem. So,
And what's the proper name for that part again?
that's just called the gear rack. Any of these you can buy from the jobbers. Actually, you can buy almost everything that you need in a kit from a jobber. I bought this from CarQuest, which came with this cover, the rack, and there were some other parts in there too. Real quick then, I'll just show you this. These are columns that came out of cars that were vandalized. And what they've done is they've actually, I'll show you, I have another column here. They've actually smashed this. This is actually just plastic. They smash it, and then they can get a little screwdriver in here and manually activate that gear to start the car. It's that easy. So anyway, I hope that helps you and gives you a little bit clearer indication of what it is when you can actually see it on the workbench. So if that helps, hit the like button, subscribe, and listen for more tips on this.
And maybe I should just add in there too that if they have any other questions, that feel free to ask questions in the comments.
Yeah, that would be great. I'll always try to answer.